emailed me, she's like, I want all the details. What are you planning on Sunday? Okay. Like, she interviewed me. What are we doing? What are you talking about? How are we going to talk about this? It was great.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you. All right. So this month we are talking about holy boldness. Holy boldness. Holy boldness.
Spelled with a W.
With a W. Spelled with a W, right? Today we're going to talk about being fired up. Has anybody ever here ever felt fired up? Yeah. Yeah. Are you feeling fired up today?
Yeah.
What are you fired up about? Just shout it into the room.
My book.
Book? Life.
Family.
Family. Work.
Freedom.
Freedom. Yeah. I'm fired up about bringing new life to my property. I'm having so much fun being out there, digging in the dirt, finding things. Wow, I didn't know this was here. I found a horn from a bull in my yard. I was like,
a bullhorn. Wow.
a bullhorn. Yeah, I was like, maybe I could use it. No, it's solid at one end. But I found a bullhorn. Interesting how the excitement of getting up in the morning and jumping out of bed, throwing my gardening clothes on and going straight outside, and then realizing, wait, I'm right near the golf course. I should probably check my hair. Because I'm a Leo, so I need to make sure that this is at least something, right? Not sticking out all these different directions like it often does in the morning.
Tell us all about it.
Laura Lee understands. Laura Lee understands. When I had a pixie cut, it was super easy. I would just put my hat on. It was super easy. And then COVID happened and this happened, right? I love to be fired up about things. I was fired up about coming to visit you guys on a regular basis. And then I was fired up about, wait, there's a possibility there's a job opening here. And then my fear comes in, right? Oh God. Does that happen to you when you're fired up about something and suddenly fear shows up?
Oh, yeah.
Happens all the time. It's normal. I'm here to tell you it's normal. Right? Because what happens when we're fired up? There's something within us encouraging us to move forward and do something different with our lives.
Yeah.
It's encouraging us to stretch. And when we do something different, there's a little fear and trepidation that shows up. We're going to talk about that today. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
All right. When we talk about things that we're fired up about, the one thing that is usually our life purpose is the thing that nothing can stop us from doing it. Nothing. Nothing. Ministerial school was like that for me. Becoming a practitioner was like that for me. Nothing was going to stop me from doing that. Nothing. I knew when it was time to be a practitioner. It was 22 years ago that I became licensed. So 25 years ago, I started practitioner classes. I knew that it was time for me. I knew that it was time. And I also knew that ministerial school was coming, but I knew that there was something else I needed to do first. And I'm grateful that I did. Because now when I was looking at walking across the finish line, an opportunity showed up. Not only did this opportunity show up, but in that same week, all sorts of other things started falling into place for me. Did fear show up? Oh yeah. Like, wait, am I moving too fast? Hello, it's been 22 years since you've graduated practitioner training, Aileen. You are not going into this too fast. Just go with the flow. Go with the flow. The science of mind says this. We talk about, as we nurture that knowingness within, that's that still small voice that I talk about. That's the one that starts the fire. That little ember that burns within us all the time. Mine sits in this area somewhere. Where does yours sit? Yeah, a little lower, yeah. So we're all getting it in different places. It's that part of us that we create a relationship with. That part of us, that's our spiritual source. Oh, where you feel the fire is your spiritual source, right? So as you reflect on anything that you've been on fire about, can you feel that flame starting to heat up again a little bit more? Yeah? You think about what is it that has brought the fire up for me in the past, and think about it. Oh, It's like you're fanning the flames a little bit there, right? Our imagination and recall can bring that right back and drive us again. So holy boldness is the fire in our soul that propels us into action. It propels us into action. It ignites the flame within. It keeps it stoked, and it confirms that everything is possible. Why is that? Because we live in a universe that is abundant. It's abundant. Everything is possible. There's nothing that you can't do, be, or have. The only reason you can't is because you've put a stopper on your jar and nothing else can get in. Nothing else can get in. Could you imagine all the piggy banks in the world suddenly close the coin slot? Where do you go? Where do you put your money if your piggy bank is closed?
Give it away.
Well, you could give it away, right? But where do you put it? Where do you put the good that's coming to you if there's no place for it to go?
In your bra.
In your bra. But imagine all those things are closed, right? You're completely closed off. The goodness of the world can't come to you. So that's what Fired Up is about. I was reading this article in last month's Reader's Digest. Anybody here still read Reader's Digest?
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites. Every once in a while I'll pick one up and think, wow, these are great short stories. You know, just for a moment if I'm waiting for something, I pick up my Reader's Digest. I read a joke. There's all sorts of things. Vince reminded me of a joke. I'll have to see if I can remember to share it at the end. But this woman was in New York and she wanted to go out swimming. But the ocean was just feeling, she was older, and the ocean was feeling like a little too much for her. So she decided to start swimming in the ponds nearby. Well, the ponds were murky and dirty and, you know, they're only about 8 feet deep, she said. And it was full of junk at the bottom. And she thought, wait a minute. I really want to swim. I have this fire to swim. I really want to do this. And so she grabbed a girlfriend of hers and said, you know, never swim without a buddy, right? Always swim with a buddy. She grabbed a girlfriend of hers and they started swimming and she saw a piece of trash on the bottom. And so she went down and picked up the trash. It was an aluminum can. And her friend saw it as they were swimming along, found something, and her friend reached down and grabbed a plastic plate. And here they're swimming, and they're swimming with these things in their hand, wondering, what are we going to do with this? And they found a kayaker and said to the kayaker, would you be willing to take these back to shore and we will dispose of them? The kayaker said, sure, no problem. Since then, this woman is only allowing women over the age of 65 to join this club. I forget what she calls it, but they go out and they swim in the ponds in their neighborhood and they collect the garbage. Well, what's happened is that one, these women are feeling empowered, right? Because they're not feeling thrown away anymore after 65, right? They're getting their exercise. They're clearing these ponds. Now the ponds are much clearer water. Wow. They're doing things such as picking up sheets of roofing material, aluminum roofing material. They're picking up boards. They're picking up all sorts of things. And now they have a friend who doesn't swim very well, and that person rides around with a kayak and a laundry basket, and they collect all the things that the swimmers are pulling out of the pond. Can you say fired up?
Yeah. Fired up.
She's fired up. She was fired up. She needed to go swimming, and look what this turned into. This group of women that regularly commune together, and they're taking care of their environment. All she wanted to do was swim. Don't think that your idea that you're fired up about is too small, because you never know what it's going to do. We talk about in Science of Mind that this knower within, that thing within us, that voice, it's reliable. And we can always tap into it. We simply have to trust both ourselves and the universal power. Whatever you want to call it, God, divine presence, universal power. For a long time, for me, it was love. Love. That's what I called it. So we're going to talk about three things that will illustrate this point of view. We're going to talk about fired up, ready to go. We're going to talk about being vulnerable and humble, and we're going to talk about the fire in the belly. You ready? You ready? Fired up is the energy and enthusiasm in being fired up and ready to go. So President Obama, in his 2016 campaign, adopted a chant by Edith Childs. And that was, fired up, ready to go. Do you remember that? Obama would say, fired up, ready to go. And he added to that. But what he would say is, he would get people chanting, fired up, ready to go, fired up, ready to go. And then he said in one of his speeches, one voice can change the room. If you can change the room, you can change the city. If you can change a city, you can change a state. If you can change a state, then you can change a nation. If you can change a nation, you can change the world. If we can change the world, then we're making it a better place for all. By simply changing your mind. And then using your voice to change one other. It's really simple. So we can change it for the better and the best and for the good and the greatest. It's all up to us. That's what happens when you're fired up, and that's what happens when you're fired up in spirit and ready to live your best life yet. When we feel like everything is possible and we're ready to tackle what life brings our way, we have an attitude of zest and zeal for life. I love those words, zest and zeal. We're fired up and ready, willing, and able to do what needs to be done. Right? So when we think of being fired up, we think of being stimulating and provocative and action-oriented, active, proactive, engaged, and in motion, right? When we're fired up, we're going to go do something. But the key to quality in spiritual work, personal development, and evolution is the act of being vulnerable, humble, and open. When's the last time you practiced being vulnerable and open and humble? See, many see vulnerability as a weakness, which is generally less admirable in today's society, yet the ability to be vulnerable opens the space for healing, learning, and openness. The ability to be vulnerable is a really great strength. It allows for patience and surrender. Yeah. To be humble requires the release of our arrogance or our sense of superiority, and instead to be open and teachable. How many times have we found ourselves not teachable in life? Yeah, we've all done it. I know as we get older, we realize, but you know what? I could be more teachable. That is, to me, the greatest gift that I've ever received, right? When we embrace being vulnerable and humble, it brings a new perspective to being fired up with that holy boldness. It says that there is value in being quiet and still. It says that there is value in listening and learning and leaning in to hear something deeper and greater. That's why we practice meditation on Sunday morning before service. Anybody here have a meditation practice that they practice regularly? Yeah, it shifts something, right? It shifts something. I'll tell you, this morning I was coming into church to service today. I had this really cute outfit on. I was feeling really hot. Awesome, right? I had my smoothie in my hand. I was going to drink it on my way, and I was going to be here, and it was going to be the best day ever. And I come down the hill at the Little River Inn, and somebody slams their brakes on in front of me, and I slam my brakes on in order to avoid an accident, and what happened?
Smoothie.
The smoothie went all down. all down the front of me. But you still showed up cute. I still showed up cute, thank you. It went in every crevice. I thought, well, this can ruin my day, or it could make it. What's your choice, Aileen? I thought, you know what? I'm gonna let it make my day, right? Come on, seriously, it didn't hurt me. Hurt my pride a moment.
Well, but you didn't get in an accident.
I didn't get in an accident. I didn't hurt myself or somebody else who wasn't paying attention, and that's okay. That's okay. I might have to go home and scrub some laundry, but that's all right. I had something else in my closet that I literally walked in the door stripping things off, and I could walk into my closet and there was something right there that I could put on like that. Right? Thank goodness I did my ironing when I got here. I don't iron very often, but every once in a while I need to. And I slid the closet open and I went, what's quick and easy? This dress. Wait, do I have shoes? Wait, I brought shoes. I've got what I need. I've got what I need. And instead of getting angry at this other person, I just allowed them to do what they needed to do. I made a U-turn and went back. It's not very far. What, a half a mile, Janet? Maybe? Wasn't that far. And it's only a couple minutes to get here. I thought, I'll be late. They'll understand. I don't know if Jim understood. He looked at me funny when I walked in late. I'm teasing, Jim. I'm teasing. I was embracing being humble. You know, I could have gotten upset about it. I could have let it ruin my day. But no, now I can go do anything. I have flats with me if I want to change and go walk the beach. You know, anything's possible. I'm ready to go. So let's talk about having that fire in the belly. Being fired up means bringing a deep inner conviction and commitment to whatever it is that you are fired up about. That's that inner passion. That's that fire in the belly. Another joke I was reading in Reader's Digest magazine. I got some really good stuff yesterday. Let me tell you. Was it Reader's Digest? It might have been Instagram. I was watching something or reading something. Sometimes visuals become or reading becomes so visual in my mind. But somebody was talking about their craft room. This is my craft room. And the friend said, great, this is your craft room. And it's a really messy room. And they said, and over here is where I do my miniatures. None of them are painted yet, but I'm waiting to be inspired by the color palette. And over here is my maker station with the 3D printer. And I'm going to make bases for my miniatures. Oh, okay, so they can be taller, got it. And over here is my sewing machine so I can start sewing my own clothes. And over here is all my paint supplies. All my paint supplies, my watercolor and my acrylics. And over here are all of my medias that I can draw on. And over here, here's my scrapbooking stuff. And the friend said, wow, you have a lot of hobbies. What I don't see, though, is anything that's complete. And the person said, oh, wait, my hobby room is my hobby. Do you ever feel like that sometimes? My hobby room is my hobby, right? Yet that person had the fire in the belly. The fire in the belly about learning about new hobbies. Now, actually doing them was something completely different, right? There's a clarity and purpose that drives our actions forward or towards a specific goal and vision, whether it's learning about new hobbies or actually doing a new hobby, right? There's a clarity and purpose behind all of them. What we have to remember is that we have the strength and confidence and the will to get there no matter what. We simply know what we know that we know. There's a no-nonsense attitude about the road forward when we're fired up. We just do it. Some people might say, I want some of that. How do I get the fire in my belly? Has anybody ever asked you that? What is it that you're doing? Yeah. I want some of that. Yeah. I get that a lot. Did you change your hair, Aileen? No, I stepped up my practice. Or, you're always so happy. I think, really, I'm faking it really well. But no, right? How do you walk through life? Used to get this a lot in tech. I'd walk through campus. I worked on a beautiful campus. And I would walk through campus and people would say to me, you're always happy. You're always floating. And I would think, really? Kind of in a rush to get to another building for a meeting, but okay. What is it that you're doing? I'd say, I lead a meditation group 3 times a week at lunch. You should come join me. And they would. And then I would see them a month or 2 later floating through the courtyard between buildings and think, did they change their hair? No, they were starting to do something different. This is where affirmative prayer comes in, right? Affirmative statements. Writing something down that we are claiming as already ours is so important, right? Having the fire in the belly, that deep knowing about the absolute and resolute truth in the universal spirit, that's the prayer. And knowing that it's already completed now, without a doubt, that's how we make it happen. That's how we make it happen. There's a couple of quotes, this one by Dr. Martin Luther King that I really liked. It was, we can walk through the darkest night with a radiant conviction that all things work together for the good.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. And Ernest Holmes says, not only must we have complete faith in spirit and its ability to know and do, but we must have complete confidence in our approach to it. We must not be lukewarm in our conviction. We must know that we know. We must know that we know. Even if you don't know right now, just know that there is a part of you that knows. I love it when a client comes to me and I ask them a question and they say, I don't know. And I would say, if your higher self knew, what would it say? I don't know. Okay, well then let's close our eyes and go to that space within and ask. The answer always comes. Always. So here's what I want you to think about for the rest of the week. What is it that you are most passionate about in life? If you're unsure or feel that your purpose has shifted, that's okay. Spend the week rediscovering your passion and rekindling that fire. And then ask yourself these questions. You ready? Is there anything preventing me from being fired up? And if so, how do I address it? And most importantly, ask yourself, what am I passionate about? Are you passionate about swimming? Then go swim. Grab a buddy and go for a swim. And you never know what's going to happen next. You could be cleaning a pond and shifting the environment for the better. So with that, let's go into prayer. So whatever is comfortable for you, either close your eyes or drop your gaze. Take a deep breath and know with me that we are never alone. That there is a source greater than we are. I am going to call it God today, but I will probably call it other words because it is so many things. It is that abundant life. It is joy. It is vitality. It is that inner knowingness, that still small voice within, and it is in, through, and around each and every one of us. I know that for each person here, that abundance is theirs. I know for each person here that absolute love is theirs, that joy and vulnerability and humility are all theirs. I know that healing can happen right now in this room. I know that. Because we are all connected to that one thing, God, Goddess, Divine Presence, Gaia. It's all one. And it shows up individually as Aileen, just as it shows up for each and every one of you. There's no place where God is not. It's everywhere. It is all things. It is that energy that permeates, that vibrates everything around us. And knowing that to be true, I can claim right here in this moment, the fire in my belly is growing. I know that the fire in our bellies are growing, our passions are thriving, because we are connected to a source that knows no other, a source that only says yes. And with that source, we can welcome and accept all of the gifts of the universe. They're all there. All we have to do is ask for them, and the universe says yes, yes, yes. So for the planet, I'm claiming a healing. For the beings living on the planet, I'm claiming a healing. I'm claiming that they are all fired up and ready to go. I'm claiming health and vitality. I'm claiming abundance for the entire planet. I'm claiming a feeling of absolute joy and love, that each person on the planet feels that they are somebody to someone. And if they're not feeling that, may I be that someone. I am so grateful for this thing I call spiritual mind practice. I'm so grateful for this philosophy of the science of mind and for the teachings of Ernest Holmes, who inspires us to be open to all possibilities, who lets us know that we are capable of everything we set our mind to. And so I release this prayer knowing that it's already done, that the Divine One has already handled it, and there is nothing more for me to do but start to move my feet towards my next great thing. And if you agree with this, if this resonates with any of you, any be a part of your being, will you please join me in saying, and so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now it is time for our gifts, our tithes, and our offerings. We all give for various reasons and various seasons and various, there was a word there, it's gone.
Reasons, seasons,
and I'm just gonna hand this and let you just pass it around. I give to where my soul is nourished, where I'm being nourished spiritually. I give because I want this center to thrive. I give because I want this center to thrive. Any of you? Yeah. I give because I want Centers for Spiritual Living as an entire international organization to thrive. You know, our center ties to our home office, so they can help spread this around to everywhere. So I give for all of those reasons. So if you would, I know we're already passing the basket around, but if you would say with me the giving affirmation. It's in your bulletin. It is divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give joyously as a consciousness of abundance. And while the basket is continuing to pass around, I'm going to invite Laura Lee back up for another song. Yay! Woo-hoo!
Okay, one more chance for me to be vulnerable, folks. So I sang this song last time I was here, but I thought I would do it again because I sang it the other night at a party, and there was a woman there, and she said she really liked the story of the song, and that it reminded her that even when you think you don't have anything, you have something. And this is a song I wrote called I Got Nothing. And it's a song that I was very passionate about writing. I had 2 months and a day to write it. I was in a songwriting circle at the time on Zoom. because of COVID, and I could not get a song. And here I had literally hours to go. And so I made myself sit there, and I made myself try to write the song, and I just kept thinking, I got nothing. And so that's what I wrote. Timepiece says it's well past noon. Sitting alone, tiny desk in my room. Sundown will be here all too soon. I got nothing, bless you. Thank you. It's been 2 months and almost a day, trying to write a new song to play. Can't figure out what I want to say. I got nothing. I got nothing. Could talk about some current event, bemoan the way our taxes are spent, or write about the colors of fall. Maybe I'll sing about pickleball. I do play. As the moments tick by in this uncertain gloom, my thoughts are enclosed in a dark, dank tomb, getting a creeping feeling of doom. Gots to have something for tonight's Zoom. And I got nothing. I got nothing. I got nothing. I got nothing. Now the clock says 2:15. Watching the time gives me something to do. Starting to wonder, is it really true? I got nothing. I got nothing. I got nothing. I got nothing. The minutes roll on, getting closer to 3. This afternoon has been rough on me. I got something to say. What can it be?
I got nothing.
Nothing. I got nothing. I got nothing. Ooh, I got nothing. Ba-da-ba-da-ba.
She got nothing. Talking about
I got everything.
humble. She got nothing and she got everything. Yes. Don't you love it when the music just like slides in perfectly with the talk? Yes, I love that about her. I want to thank you for your gifts. I'm going to pass them to our bookkeeper right now, knowing that they are going to some amazing, amazing upcoming opportunities for our center to grow. I'll hand it to Brigitta, who's sending it. Okay.
It's a private.
Laura's handling something over there.
Yes.
All right. So finally, again, if you're new, thank you for being here. So grateful. And I'm going to invite us all to stand up and form a circle. We'll do our benediction and call response. Winner, I want you to hold Dad's hand with your left paw and someone else's hand with your right paw, please. Let's make a circle, please. Let's make a circle. There we go. Thank you, Vince. Vince has broken the chair so he can make an absolute circle.
Great, thank you.
Remember that if there's something in your life for which you would like prayer, you may stay after service and have a seat under the window behind me, and Jim or another one of our practitioners in training or ministers would love to pray with you. It's their gift. It's life transforming, and I hope you take advantage of it. And now I invite you to join me in a moment of benediction. Won't you please know with me that you are never alone, that God is where you are right now, and all you need is to look within, where you will find that you are guided, sustained, directed, and inspired by a source that knows only good. Joyously let us make use of these gifts in all that we think, say, and do. And so it is. And if you will please repeat after me, something wonderful is happening as me right now.
Something wonderful is happening as me right now.
It's this thing called life.
It's this thing called life.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my relationships.
Life is in my relationships.
Life is in my finances.
Life is in my finances.
Finances.
Life lights me up.
I
I see it.
I see
I
it.
think it.
I think it.
I feel it.
I feel it.
I believe it.
I believe it.
I accept it.
I accept it.
I express it.
express it.
Just the way that it is.
Just the way it is.
And just the way that it is not.
And just the way that it is not.
Thank you, life.
Thank you, life.
Now let's sing our peace song.
All right. You know what?
Somebody just start. We'll all join in.
Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as our one source, united all are we. Yes, we walk with each other in her